What up, everybody? Supertransfer Podcast. We're doing it again. Another big episode in the month of May. I had a pleasure of addressing this month and talking to women, and I'm gonna leave a lot of gems in May from women because it's Mother's Day month. And today's guest, I have one of my guys with me. A lot of you all, some people may know him. He's known as Tylann. Good brother, very successful in his field of expertise. And I told you all at the top I'll be having people on that are successful, and I wanted to share their success and introduce you to some of them, because how they show success on social media is not actually how it is in real life. So T.Y.'s been in real estate. He's been flipping homes for a long time, and we're gonna just have a conversation today about a lot of different things. He's a black man in America, single. He like women, so we're gonna talk about it all today. It's gonna be a fun conversation. Hey Ty, say what up.
What's going on?
What's up, baby?
You said he like women. I guess nowadays you gotta make sure.
Hey, look here. I don't want to be.
And he like women.
You know what I'm saying?
Just so you like,
because that DM could go left. The DMs could go left.
Unfortunately, I have had the DMs go kind of left. That's a whole nother story.
You know
That's
what
a
I'm
whole
talking
podcast.
about?
It's like, yo, fam.
Not today.
Right.
And it's cool.
On tomorrow.
Look, and it's cool.
Tomorrow.
It's cool. Don't judge me. Hey, fam, dude, we with it. Free rights, do your thing. Rainbow Coalition, LMNOPs. We do it all. But when we, he passing. He like the girls. Everybody know I like the girls. That's what we're doing. And it's cool. So and y'all can tune in too and get some of these gems. Get some of these gems. We with you. It's an open forum. I'm with all of you.
I appreciate
the disclaimer. You didn't have to say it yourself. I did it for you.
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So we're gonna kick it off. Tell me about how long you've been flipping homes, and how would you suggest we navigate in this marketplace right now? Because everybody got money.
Yeah, everybody got a little bit of money. Everybody got this SBA money, PPP money, unemployment. Pandemic for sure. Everybody's getting a little bit of money now. So I've been in real estate in the field, I'd say 14 years.
Oh,
right?
That's a veteran.
For sure. So I've been in the field like about 14 years. I started as a flipper, but I primarily buy and hold properties. And so what I do is something called the BRRRR method. And that method is like flipping a home to yourself. So BRRRR is actually BRRR, right? So it's buy, renovate, rent, refinance. And then some people will say BRRRR, and then the last R will be repeat. So some people say it with the repeat, some people say it without the repeat, or whatever the case may be, but that's the process. Basically, I'm finding a home that I could add value to. I'm fixing it up. I'm putting a renter in it, because there's a renter in it. A lot of banks, like private financing, hard money private, there's several ways to finance it. Right. They'll let you refinance it as a rental long term at about an average of 70 to 80% loan to value. Gotcha. And then from there, I pull my money back out and I keep going. It's probably one of the most powerful methods in real estate, because now a lot of people, they're always like, when I buy an investment property, the problem is I'm gonna dump $30,000 down, because typically the banks want 25% down on all the properties, right?
Exactly.
So 20 to 25% depending on the time, the lender, so on and so forth.
Right.
So now with this method, you get to take that same 20,000, 30,000, whatever that you have to invest, and you get to just keep recycling that money. And then sometimes there's a little bit of money left on the table too, and you get to pull that money out too tax-free.
Yes, sir.
So that's my basic business model, is the BRRRR method. So I'm not a big flipper, but I do the rehabs, which is part of the flipping process, and I kind of sell them back to myself and my corporation.
Now, give me, and I stand to be corrected, and I didn't want to disrespect the game, because I know you've been in it like that. I didn't know it was 14 years, and I heard about that method. I never heard of it explained like that. That made it very simple
for sure.
For people, you know what I'm saying, you buy, you know what I'm saying, renovate, rent, you know what I'm saying, take the money out,
yep.
Do it again,
yep.
You know what I'm saying, without, in the banks to finance you like that. Because you cash heavy at that point,
yep.
And you can carry what, I think they let a single person carry 4 loans at one time.
Actually, in your personal name, you can carry up to 10 loans, 10 mortgages.
Oh, wow.
As long as your DTI, your debt to income, is in place. And then at that point, they're going to want you to start financing things in your LLC. So there's going to be a point if you're really trying to scale that you have to transition to LLC. I don't necessarily suggest that you wait till you get 10 homes, but you can go up to 10 loans. Last time I checked it out, I haven't checked since the pandemic though, on the personal side, because I've been doing things in my business name for quite a few years. But you can go up to 10 loans in the personal name, but I don't necessarily suggest that you wait that long, before you.
How many let you do with the LLC?
It's an unlimited amount. It's an unlimited amount. You can go from lender to lender to lender to lender and just keep on doing deals.
I just want y'all to know people pay about $19.95 per hour for that little information that he dropping for free. So I appreciate it. But yeah,
sure.
That's love. That's wild. So and you've been through it, through the 08 situation and all of that. Did you come up or did you take an L then?
So okay. I guess long story short, I got in at the end of 07, right?
Okay.
So I came in the game. I didn't know much about real estate. I knew that if I bought a house and fixed it up, I could sell it for more money. That's about as much as I knew about real estate.
That's a good start.
Right, that's a good start. That's all I knew. And then my buddy, he was getting started. We were both getting our real estate licenses or whatever in the beginning. And we were going to school for it at that point. And he was like, hey, let's just do a flip together. And I was like, okay, cool. And I always say it's the best yes I've ever said in my life, because this yes to him taught me so much and brought me so many good experiences. I met my mentor through that one yes. If I would have said no, then I wouldn't have been where I'm at now, right? So I said yes. We went to this flip. We get this first flip. We fix it up, right? We max out our credit cards, all the little cash we had. I think I had maybe 10,000. He had like 10,000 or something like that. And we fix this house up and we sell it in a day.
Oh, y'all won.
We won on the first one, completely won. The second one, we found a guy who father had passed away. The guy lived in, I think, LA, and his father still was here in Chicago, and he had the house in South Holland. So we purchased that home, and there was about like a $60,000 potential profit. Now this one is in 08. The market tanks.
Ooh!
Just flat lines, right? In the middle of us doing the rehab, the market tanks, flat lines. We end up selling our house basically for everything we put in.
Even money.
Broke even.
That was a win.
I mean, you know what? And here's the thing also though. It took 8, maybe 9 months to somewhere between 8 and 10 months. I can't remember exactly how long, but from 8 to 10 months to get that home out. So that was an 8 to 10 month lesson for nothing. For basically, we made no money. And actually, we lost money because you got to count the payments.
Yeah,
we kind of like we lost a few grand on it, but we were able to get out of the deal. So at that point, my buddy, he's like, I'm done with real estate, right?
People was jumping out the window in 08, man. They was done. Like, they was like leaving Earth. Like, I cannot. Like, for real.
Yeah,
So to break even, you was down.
I mean, yeah, a lot of people lost a lot of money, millions of dollars.
Yes.
Lost their home, lost their jobs in that time. It was a very bad time for just the country. And so he was like, I'm done with real estate, bro. Like, I got to get out of this. And I was like, well, there's got to be another way to do real estate. Now, I dreaded the thought of being a landlord. I never wanted to be a landlord. It was the last thing I wanted to do. But it was literally the only thing I could do in that moment, right? I didn't really quite understand the concept of wholesaling. The values were down, and I couldn't make that work. The flip game was just done at that point, and then, so I went to my first 3 unit, and, I've been buying hoes ever since. The best decision I ever made to be a landlord, honestly. I mean, because the money comes slow, but it's consistent. And you're making the money in your sleep.
If it's coming,
yeah,
it's coming. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If it's slow, that's cool. As long as you know you can trust that it's coming.
No, for sure.
So that's strong. That's super strong. Wholesale game was real tough in 08. You know what I'm saying? That was a rough time. And I sat back and watched, you know what I'm saying? Kassan taught me everything that I know about real estate.
Kassan, shout out to Kassan.
Yeah, shout out to Kassan, for sure.
Kassan?
She taught me everything, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't acting like I'm some guru, but I've been able to protect myself with the game that she gave me. I've been able Now, she would probably say, oh, you don't take enough risks, you ain't done enough. Yeah, and maybe some truth to that.
Yeah.
But I've been able to successfully navigate and make money and know what I'm doing. And a lot of people don't. So I'm appreciative to that game she shared with me, you know what I'm saying? You gotta always tip your hat to who put you on.
No, for
you
sure,
know what I'm saying?
sure.
Even though I ain't selling as much dope as she want me to sell, I still sell my little dime bag. You can leave me alone. I'm doing all right. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't quite money making Mitch, but you doing good.
Nah, yeah, she let me tell you something. She'll dog me out. You could have been, oh my God, you could have done more. Oh my God, what are you doing? It's never enough, but it's cool though. It's
good to have somebody that pushes you.
Man, it's good to know that there's somebody back there that'll help you when you done too much. That's really what it is.
You ever heard of the 33% rule?
What is that?
So the 33% rule is they always, it's this theory I read about. You spend 33% of your time with people that you can encourage and help and influence. You spend 33% of your time with people who are on your level, who are like-minded, who understand you, so you can feel comfort. And then you spend 33% of your time with people who inspire you. You know what I'm saying? Who can uplift you and kind of teach you new things. And so, it's good to have. Kassan sounds like she's in that top 33%.
Yeah,
it kind of helps you out.
Oh no, for sure. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy that you said it because the hood kind of don't look at it like that. We, not to say I'm in the hood, but you just try to be around people who win it.
Yeah.
And then you want to be around people who think like you so that you can have safe conversations.
For sure.
And you try to limit your time with the people who not because it's just not, it's no growth there.
For sure.
So that's kind of like the approach, but that's a 33% theory. I like that. I use that better than the hood process.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, because it's the month of May. Mother's Day in here. Mm-hmm. How has the matriarchs in your family inspired you professionally and in your relationship?
All right, so professionally, I could say my family situation taught me that I now have to start building wealth at this moment going forward because my family didn't know anything about building wealth.
Wow.
Right? And unfortunately, a lot of black families don't know anything about building wealth. We just know how to get a job, work towards a pension. That's what I was taught. Get you a job with a pension, get you a job with a 401k, and that's basically as far as we dream. So just watching my father and my mother, and no knock on them, they did a great job, I think, raising me, gave me everything that they had and taught me everything that they know. I just understand now that I have to take it to the next level. So that
I would assume you came from money.
No. I come from humble beginnings.
For real, bro. And I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily strike me. Not that. You know what I'm saying? Broke people strike you a certain way. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? I gotta give it a bit. You didn't strike me as like, you know what I'm saying? You was busted, or not saying you was, but I just assume I think if I was a guest, I'm like, man, he come from I think his people probably got a little money over there.
No. I'll say this. I'll say that I lived a very hybrid lifestyle. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and throw a lot of cap in my story. Like, yeah, I was out here selling dope, and I had to get it out the mud. And I'm not that dude. You know what I'm saying? I didn't sell nothing.
Right.
I wasn't in no gang or nothing like that. But I did grow up, on Section 8. In rough conditions. But my mother and my father were divorced. So my dad was middle class, blue collar, and my mother was like more in poverty. So he moved to Florida when I was about 8. Mm-hmm. And so he had custody of us in the summer. So I would spend most of the year kind of like poor, right? Lights getting cut off, so on and so forth, going through those types of things. Yeah. And then in the summers, my dad would get us, and I would kind of be in like middle class suburbia. So I had a very open-minded viewpoint on like having something and having nothing.
You have perspective at a young age.
Exactly, and I always say the problem with black people is that I think we don't have the exposure to the other side. It's a lot of black men who just were seeing this side that I grew up with. And I can tell that I turned out a little bit different because of that month and a half or 2 months of being in Florida, actually getting on a plane or taking a road trip, having a white neighbor or two, having a Hispanic neighbor or two, riding bikes with them, and just talking to different types of people and actually being in a house as opposed to a roachy apartment all the time. you grow an appreciation for this, but you also not scared of that. So I can come to the hood and still kick it with everybody because this is where I spend 10 and a half of my months.
Right.
But then I still understand that there's more out there for me. So my father did a good job of showing me like, hey, there's more than what you growing up around.
And that's the same thing my parents did. Shout out to parents that, you know, make the situations work. My parents were together, but they sent me to private school, right? So nice. The diversity that I saw in high school, you know,
it's big.
Is huge because like, even right now, and I'm gonna bring this up, there was a dude I went to high school with, right? You know what I'm saying? He white, and I know a lot of, you know, white guys I went to high school with, it's no problem. But he hit me up, and he was, you know, talking about things that's going on socially, things that everybody know about. What he said was, Kurt, you can't believe in white privilege. You can't believe in systemic racism. That's not real. Like, you can't believe the stuff that you said. So the first thing most people would have done was pop off, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But I had to take a step back and realize, one, he does not see through the lens of a black man.
For sure.
Now some will say, well, he ain't trying. Well, you can't expect somebody who ain't never looked out my eyes to see things my way. So then, just like I haven't seen the world through the lens of a white man.
For sure.
So in his world, he feels that way. Now this is what I encouraged him to do. Before you take a position and submit like that and say it's not no such thing as, or this is not real, do some research about Jim Crow, the GI Bill, redlining. Just in Chicago. You didn't got to go across the world. Just do it here.
For sure.
And look at the impact of the neighborhoods and what happened to blacks and the residual effect of these things. Like redlining is still documented to be going on in 2016. That's what, 6 years ago?
Sure.
5, 6 years ago? So he doesn't know that. And I know he ain't done the work. So am I right to be mad at him?
No, I mean, a lot of our white counterparts, a lot of our white brothers and sisters, right? They aren't digging into the rich history of systemic racism.
Right.
And why would they? It's our history. They don't view it that way.
Yes,
they should view it as American history, and it should be taught a lot more in schools because they damn sure teach us about George Washington and the Boston Tea Party
and everybody else.
And they'll talk about earth science, and they'll talk about anything but like the deep-rooted systemic racism in America. But they will talk about Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, maybe Harriet Tubman.
Malcolm X gently.
Yeah, right.
Gently.
Barely.
Gently.
They put a little.
And you know
Malcolm
Malcolm X was special. You know Malcolm X was a special guy too. Right. Moving on.
So we got to do like our own research, and you know, I don't see enough, you know, white people actually going out their way to say, I'm going to do some extensive research on why things are the way they are, which I kind of understand, you know, where they're coming from. I mean, it's not their fight, you know.
It's not, but in order for things to change,
they do have
on a systematic level, not only would they have to understand, they're gonna have to get involved. But like to change your mindset, you know, you understanding is one thing, but you got to teach your kids, your children that, hey, look, we don't treat people like this.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know they in a bad neighborhood, and I know what the media is showing you that Chicago and shit, they shooting little girls and they doing all of this. However, we need to talk about why that neighborhood has been that bad for 25, 30 years. That has to be addressed. Why is crime always in these areas?
Yep.
Because if you put a redlining map on your top crime areas, they match.
Yes.
So, that right there in itself. But like I said, I encourage all of my white friends that may be watching this that went to high school with me. Hey man, do a little work, man. Just look up some of the stuff we talking about. Redlining in Chicago. I start there. You'll be surprised. Blacks that fought in the war couldn't get loans on homes. They could only get loans in certain areas. They could only buy homes in certain areas. They could only be in certain areas. That wasn't a coincidence. And let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Is it strange to you that a black woman, 32, with a great credit score, her student loan interest rates are higher than a white woman same age with a lower credit score but live in a different neighborhood.
Sure.
Why is her interest on her student loans lower than the black woman with the higher credit score?
Systemic racism.
Man,
Twice again.
Biden, come holler at us, Joe. Go ahead and let the 50,000 go, man. Cut it out, man. You want to help black people cut out the student loans, man. Cut these women free. We know it's black women who will profit the most off of student loans being forgiven. Let these black women fix our neighborhoods, because I firmly believe, and this is a Curtis statement, you don't have to sign on for this. If you take student loans away from black women, these black women will fix their neighborhoods that they come out of. You say, what that mean? All of the extracurricular programs, the schools, the daycares, the after-school programs, the social work, they will build in their communities. They will do that. Get the debt off of them and give them some loans so that they can work in our communities and fix it.
For sure.
Please. Black women will fix black neighborhoods. I promise you. I promise you that. It's not like black men won't help them, but I'm telling you, black neighborhoods will be fixed by black women as soon as you get this debt up off of them. That's my little 2 cents. But we're going to move on. I digress.
That's definitely a crucial step towards that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's the end all be all, but definitely that's a strong step.
Well, you know, it ain't the end all. You're absolutely right. It's not the end all be all, but I think that's a humongous catalyst towards the correction process.
Sure.
And I don't want to marginalize black men's value in that process.
No, for sure.
But when you start seeing the seeds grow, real men come back to cultivate that. They're gonna help.
For sure.
Why? Because we see our women working. They ain't gotta be my woman, but if I see a woman working towards helping the community, I don't have a problem sowing a seed there, sending you a check, or saying, hey look, I think my man T.Y. got a building over there. He might be able to help you extend that program. You see how the impact of the black man?
Sure.
Yeah, I agree with you. It ain't the end all be all, but I believe that's like you said.
And then furthermore, in the home buying process, which is, owning real estate is one of the most predominantly best ways to acquire wealth, right?
Yes, sir.
And so it's like when you're going to get approved for a loan, you have all these student loans, and whether your loans are in forbearance or whatever the case may be, a lot of times that goes against your DTI.
Yes, sir.
And if you don't make enough money now, you can't buy a home. And if you can't become a homeowner, how do you build wealth and how do you help the community?
How do you do it?
So if you forgive the loans, that'll put a lot of people in position to actually purchase, which will uplift the community too. So it's all a snowball effect.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. So, transitioning from
this is so smooth, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we gotta talk about that.
Yeah.
Not because. So he put me onto this reposado.
Maestro Dobell. If you see this, holler at me. I have it out here.
I'm normally a Casamigos guy.
I'm not on this,
but this is really smooth, man.
It's super smooth.
It's smooth.
And you're gonna feel it though.
Yeah.
It's really tequila. It's not like fake. It's real tequila.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't fake drink on Supertransfer Podcast. If my guests want a cocktail, there's a real cocktail involved. Apple juice, So let me ask you this, and this is one of my favorite questions that I really want to ask you. Mm-hmm. What was one of the biggest financial misses that you made, and how did you recover from it?
But I would say that if I could rewind time, I wouldn't change anything different about what I did in real estate. I think I started early enough, but I would start stocks at the same time. No matter what I had to invest in, or had to invest, I would have definitely started then. Because I started that process late. I mean, I made some money in it. I'm doing okay in it, but if I would have started when I started real estate, I'd have had just double.
And don't feel bad, man. I started late too, but the key is starting.
For sure.
Do a little education. What'd you say? YouTube, read a book. I know you're an avid reader.
For sure.
For those that don't like to read, YouTube.
YouTube and audiobooks.
Yeah, they're reading to
everything. You. Yes, audiobooks to everybody, everything. Everybody's like, but that's not real reading. You still retain the information.
Who will say that?
Some people are purists, and they like to fill the pages, and they just like you're not retaining the information unless you're sitting there with a book. Yeah. But my whole thing is, an audiobook gives you the chance to do two things at once. So
like drive?
Like drive.
Yes,
exactly.
sir.
So I can drive, I can run, I can sit in the sauna, I could be on an airplane and listen to an audiobook.
Getting into the stock market early,
for sure.
I agree with you. I probably could have done that better. I really wish I would have listened to the old timer at the railroad when I first started. The man told me, he said, young man, put everything you got in this stock. Conrail, put everything you got in this stock. Stock was like $19.21. I really remember. $19.21. I didn't do it, but the stock split 3 times and sold for like $119 or $120 a share. About 2.5 years after he told me that, and I would be in a very different position. Or, sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, I probably wouldn't have to work, but
I think everybody has that story when they missed the bag, for sure.
My daddy missed out on Yahoo.
He did? Damn.
No, for real. Look,
that's rough.
When he told me, I was sitting at the kitchen table looking at him like, what is wrong with you?
As an early investor, or just a stop?
My daddy not here no more. He told me about Yahoo. I was in high school. He was like, let me and my job talking about getting some money for some Yahoo. I'm not playing no games with my money. And,
yeah.
And I'm like, this was back when it was still dial-up, boss.
Yeah.
Like, like all of that. Yeah. Like, you talking about 90, this had to be like 90, maybe 91, 92. Mm-hmm. In that area, he had an opportunity to invest in Yahoo, and he didn't because he didn't know about it.
But you know what? But a lot of people, it's hard for them to grasp a new concept, right? And I'm the same way in certain instances, depending on the industry, right? And there's like 4 stages, right? You have like the revolutionary, the people that are like gun ho about it, who are like they believe in it. They're normally the creators and the inventors, and they're early on. They're the first ones to land. Then you have the second wave after the revolutionaries step in. You have that second wave of people who get in early. You have that third wave of people who jump in when it's proven, which I typically teeter between the second and third wave right there. And then you have the fourth wave. Those are the people who just never get involved, no matter how good it is, no matter how much it's proven. They're just too scared to ever make a move.
I believe in 2-income households, right? That's just what I believe in. I believe even if I can probably, take care of my girl if she didn't want to work, things would probably have to be adjusted, but I could do it.
For sure.
But here's the thing. For what? We both have goals. It's about, mutual respect.
Because a lot of leadership is predicated on income. Like, I'm making this money, I'm paying these bills, therefore, this is my role as a leader. And when you have a woman making more, now you're telling her to make that money, but then step aside and still let you lead.
Well, leadership ain't about money all the time, though. You know that, right?
I know leadership isn't about money, but it's hard when you're making money and you're paying for things for a woman to then just say, okay, let me hand over the leadership. However, because it's like...
So what if you fall in love with a woman who's a financing guru? She's a financial guru.
For sure.
She makes money. She works for Merrill Lynch. She works for a hedge fund. This woman makes money.
For sure.
And she's clearly better at handling money than you are. And you're good at it. But she's clearly better. Are you comfortable giving her the keys to the finances of the whole house?
You know what? I would be, but I'm not going to lie. In the back of my mind, I would have a fear of how she would act long term, right? Now, for me, I won't throw numbers out there, but I make decent money.
You do okay.
I do well, and I'm in the top.
You make about $37 an hour. You doing well, T.Y. It's all good, no?
I'm one of those high value men, I would say.
Okay,
right?
okay.
And so most women.
I'm dollar store value.
Every woman I've dated has made less than me, and nowhere near what I make. So I've never been in that situation, right? I've been in one situation when a woman came very, very close. She did
You want me to cut
well.
you on to a rich girl? You see how it goes? I cut you on one.
Sure.
One of them high-powered black girls.
I honestly don't know how that would go, but I would find it rather difficult for her to be the provider, right? Income-wise, and for her to still give me that respect. I think you kind of got to pay for that respect.
I don't think so.
I don't think a lot of women.
I think the way women built. Now this is gonna sound sexist, but y'all pray for me. I believe that you can love a woman into submission.
Okay.
I firmly believe that a woman is subject to how she's treated and being loved. And and I'm not talking about sex, but if you love a woman to a point to where she knows this is nowhere available for her, no other place. Mm-hmm. What you looking for her to do, she's gonna do. I believe that. Like, I don't give a fuck if she made Oprah money.
I think that's possible. I just think it's the minority.
Okay.
I think that's the minority woman. I think the majority of high-powered women or
They
higher
want you that
women,
close?
they want a man on their level or higher. I spoke to these women.
Yeah, good luck.
Some of these are my friends.
Good luck.
And I'm like, shorty, you're an attorney making X amount of dollars. There's not a lot of men rocking with you. And then let's be real, when a man's making $100, $200, $300, $400,000, you know, he's high value and he has hella options, right? Because at the end of the day, women want providers, preachers, and protectors, and men want women who cater to their needs, right?
Right.
In so many words. So your income doesn't matter to him. He's already making money. You're like, so it's kind of like you're gonna always have like a problem finding those men.
So why would she go out and go get a job to pay $500,000 a year?
Because I think somewhere along the road, women became so independent income wise that they just feel like they don't need, you know, and part of that is our fault. Right, as men.
I own that.
Right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, and not our fault. I think
but I said as a man, I own that.
Men, yeah,
we own that.
Part of that is our fault because you look at the history of men and how they treated women, right? And they were forced to be independent. They were forced to fight for for more income, forced to fight for opportunities. I just think that it kind of spiraled out of hand to the point where now they're so independent that they can't be happy in a situation. And it's kind of sad because on one end, I applaud these women for getting educated, applaud these women for starting businesses and making this money. But on the other end, I know you'll never be happy because you'll never be able to look down. You're always going to be looking to across or up, you know? And I don't really know what the remedy is to fix that. I just know that it is an issue that I'm seeing with a lot of women, especially our women.
We won't see
black women are getting it.
We won't see it for a generation or a generation from now.
For sure.
When kids grow up and see how unhappy their mothers and grandmothers are being alone,
for sure,
they're going to say, I'm not going to do that.
For sure.
I'm going to make money, but I'm going to learn how to love a man.
Yeah.
Because it's value in having a healthy, loving relationship with somebody, right?
For sure.
And I think that's what is going to happen. But the women that's caught in this whim right now, I implore them, like, you know, date on your level because a lot of men can't handle what you're making or what you're doing. But if you do run across that one dude who may work may work for streets and sanitation, but he got his shit together on his level and he's a good steward, he does what he's supposed to do, his situation is together, and he treats you well, you're going to have to play ball. You got to play ball because at the end of the day, it's about being treated well. We all are in this thing about how we are treated by the person we care about, right? We want to be treated well. So if that man is treating you like the queen you deserve to be, and he worked for streets and sand, man, I would suggest you give that man a shot. But
a lot of women aren't. Most of them aren't.
Let me ask you even more. What about all these women who dated dope boys that don't want to date dope boys no more, but have no concept of reality of what it's like for a dude to go out here and get it? For sure. Those women are problematic because your expectations are unrealistic. For sure, yeah. I can't get up and get you $10,000 a bag this week. It's irresponsible, number one, and two, I ain't gonna do it. So now, even if I got it, I ain't gonna do it.
For sure.
Why? Because that's stupid. But the dope boys can do that. The card crackers can do it.
But you know what? When you're not truly free, which black people aren't truly free, you surround yourself with things that represent freedom, right? And this is why we're addicted to those brands and those things and so on and so forth. 100. And it's just like, it's unfortunate because you're absolutely right. Like the Mexican family, right? The man can go to work and work for street sanitation. He could be a construction worker or a roofer or whatever case may be. Come home dirty and still have his queen, still have his setup. As long as he's providing for that household and he's out bringing that money home, he gets that setup. But for us, unfortunately, as black men, you got to be a Chanel Birkin bag buying, trip to
get you a mid-value woman.
Exactly.
Get you a mid-grade. You're not even getting a loud old lady.
And so now, and then with this, the cell phone, you have everybody capping. Like
social media is ridiculous.
Like you compile like the social media aspect with the independent woman feminist movement.
Oh, it's hard.
With inflation.
Yeah.
With all, it's a big mess. It's a gumbo.
Yeah,
It's just all bad.
It's
all bad. And I don't know where we're gonna figure it out or what needs to happen for us to figure it out. Because it's like we don't want to go backwards because that feels sexist. You don't want to oppress women, but you kind of don't want to be where you are because nobody's happy in their marriage.
Yeah, I don't know. I might want to oppress a couple people. No, I'm just fucking.
Barefoot pregnant is the way to go. No.
No, we don't want to do that. Those are all jokes.
No, we all, you know, I think real men want to see women do well, want to see women be happy.
Absolutely.
However, we want to be happy too. And somewhere along the lines, a woman's needs are still a woman's needs, and they still want those preachers, providers, and protectors. But for some reason, our needs no longer fit in this new system. You know?
Oh, well, they will.
Yeah.
Because what happens is those high value men start looking other places, and other places usually be what black women don't want. And I love black women. I want to be clear about it. I'm a black woman fan. Mm-hmm. I love all women actually, but black women are my personal favorite. Mm-hmm. But you know, they are my 1A. I do have a 1B.
Yeah. And
I do have a 1C.
What's your B and your C?
Oh man, Hispanic women are amazing.
For sure.
Yeah, they are dope. Shout out to Hispanic women.
Yeah.
My C, that would be. I don't want to be bogus.
Oh wow,
bogus, man.
Go ahead and say what you gonna say.
From your heart.
I know, right?
Asian women. Man.
Asian women, okay.
Well, you know, that's my one. But black women are my favorite. They're my go-tos. Hispanic women, you know, I look for them too.
Yeah.
Asians, I can't find them. I ain't nowhere where they are. They're just a wish and a hope and a prayer. I've never been able to hit. I've been around like white women. I ain't never been able to hit on. Like I just couldn't even bring myself to do it. And then I think y'all are dope women too. I think like, you know what I'm saying, there's beautiful white women out here and I don't have no problem with them. I just never been able to do it. I be sitting next to them like,
the vibes don't match, huh?
I don't know what to tell them. I don't know what to say. Like, I
talk to them as a human being. I mean,
you do
one thing, I've dated all different types of races of women, and one thing I noticed is that it's kind of, I know it sounds cliche, but be yourself, and everybody's gonna rock with it. I think, you know what I'm saying. If they rock with you,
we hope.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's the truth though. I've just been myself. I don't switch up my tone or my approach or anything for any particular type of woman I've ever dated. And I've successfully dated a lot of different types of women. And I've just always been myself. They either gonna rock with it or not. You know,
I didn't get to see them. I went to a diverse all-boys school. So they weren't there.
Okay.
So I didn't get to shoot. I didn't get to practice.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't get to hit the swing in the middle.
You didn't get to put your 10,000 hours.
I did not at all. And when I got put up to bat a few times I did, I was just up there like, what's up with you? Okay then. All right.
You'd be shocked though how many different races of women or just people, especially in today, within our age group, actually are just like have this exposure to our culture and are super like understanding of it, and they think it's dope, and like they probably listen to more rap than you do.
Probably.
You'd be shocked, you'd be shocked. Like that's one thing I had to learn growing up and just dating different type of women. You'd be shocked how many people really just understand the hip hop culture.
I just gotta get past how you doing. If I get past how you doing, I'm gonna be fine.
It's the same how you doing. You'll give a sister. Trust me.
It is not. But
it is.
It is.
It's the same how you doing. Right. It's the same how you doing. It's nothing different. Typically, you know what I mean? Like it's
all good. And
yeah.
I mess with it. I mean, you know, I won't mess with that, but it's all good. I believe you. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna wrap it up with. Either or segment in word association. When I say a word, you see the first thing coming to your mind.
Okay.
You ready?
All right, let's do it.
It's called rapid fire. You ready?
Okay.
Cash credit.
Credit.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Drink or smoke?
Smoke.
Fast or slow?
Slow.
City life or country living?
City life.
Okay. Word association. Money.
Real estate.
GOAT.
Michael Jordan.
Freedom.
Passive income.
Black men.
Originators.
Chicago.
home.
T.Y., man, you ready to do, boy? There was some dope answers too, man. Hey, this Supertransfer Podcast, we out of here. T.Y., we doing it big, man. I appreciate you for being on. Hey, we'll see you again for the next episode, man. Y'all take it easy. Oh, my goodness. That episode just blessed me mightily. I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I hope y'all enjoyed it. We got more episodes coming soon, but always remember, subscribe, like, and share on YouTube, Nutty Music TV. Y'all be blessed.